Does your dog ever smell like Doritos or like chips?
No.
Really? Well, like sometimes I notice if my pug needs a bath, he starts to smell like a Dorito.
Why is that? Did he get into your stash?
No, I don't know. There's like a weird aroma. He smells like a Dorito, like a nacho cheese Dorito.
I think he needs to see a doctor. Maybe you need to see a doctor, and you need to hand him back to the factory, because maybe they just take his scent and they make it into a flavor.
It's the weirdest thing. And like, I've heard other people refer to it as like Fritos, like Fritos. Their paws smell like corn chips or something.
Is that real?
Yeah. Next time one of your dogs is by you, grab their paw and smell the bottom of it. I bet you it smells like a little chip. Like my dog smells like a Dorito sometimes. And then I'm like, oh, you need a bath.
It sounded like you were going to say my butt smells like a Dorito because you were like, my butt, my dog.
Could you imagine if my butt smelled like a Dorito?
I could imagine you contorting yourself to sniff your own butt.
Ooh, but it wouldn't smell like a Dorito.
What if you had Doritos?
Well, that still wouldn't. No. Unless you're wiping Dorito dust on your asshole.
I don't know. Spice it up a little bit. Spice it up for the ladies.
Well, what if the ladies don't like the Dorito dust?
Well, at least it keeps it, it keeps it surprising for them, right?
This is true.
Gives them a little hey, a little huh, give a little Dorito. Hello, people everywhere. This is Think Harder Podcast, and what a cold opening that was. I'm one of your hosts, Kenny.
And I am Jake.
And here on Think Harder, we aim to do the thinking for you, bringing you what we know of the wonderful world and what it has to offer. We are uncredited experts in every field under the sun, including but not limited to having somebody lick your bum and a good flavor to put on there.
Yep, Doritos, Hershey's chocolate. You would think, it looks like poop, but it's a nice little surprise. It tricks them,
Well, they're like, oh, I don't want to lick that. Is that fucking doo-doo?
Yeah, it's a 50-50 proposition. You don't know what you're going to get.
Oh, yeah, it's like that subreddit, R5050, or whatever it's called.
Exactly.
But you don't tell them, and you plug their nose so they can't sniff it first.
Yeah, it's like, oh boy, right as their tongue is about to touch poop or chocolate.
Yeah, we're experts on that.
Definitely. Have you ever seen that one episode of, I don't know if it was Fear Factor or it was like one of those like competitive shows, and what happened was the contestants had to smell a certain scent in each box. And so the guy went up to one box and there was an ass, like somebody bending down with their ass out.
Oh, come on.
And they go and they smell it and they start gagging, and then they have to say out loud what they think it is. And then they'll hear like a bing if it's right. And so they're like, it smells like ass, like jokingly. And then the bell rung and they're like, you are correct.
Oh my God. What show is that?
I have no idea. It was like a Fear Factor type show, though.
That's nasty. I don't like that. But you know what's not nasty? If you want to know anything about almost anything, that you could use the hashtag ThinkHarderPod on Twitter, or you could shoot us an email at thinkharderpodcast@gmail.com.
Share with us your favorite flavors of
asshole art.
Of asshole covers.
I'm going to say cherry. Cherry's probably a good one, right?
Like
a little tartness.
What do you mean cherry, though? Like flavoring?
Yeah, cherry flavor.
Are you just sticking cherries. A cherry in the hole?
No. Just like cherry juice. Just lather in.
Ooh, that sounds sticky.
Well, we're going to take everybody on a wild ride today as we go from amusement park to amusement park all over the world. You ready for this, Jake? You ready for this joyride?
I'm ready to not hurl because fuck, I am terrible at roller coasters.
You're bad at roller coastering?
I am terrible. I mean, I like the act of doing it, but my body does not.
Well, that's not good.
No, it's not. And I think anytime I've gone on one, I've either gotten a headache or I've gotten a stomach ache.
You know, when I was younger, I used to be so resilient and I used to be like totally fine. But now, when I go on shit, I just like can't like walk around. I like have to take a seat when I'm done. I'm like, oh, I'm very queasy.
Right.
And I always used to get queasy when I was like a kid going on like car trips. But then I got over that. And then I developed getting sick on roller coasters. So it like switched. Kind of a bullshit trait, if you ask me.
Yeah. That sounds like real bullshit.
Yeah, because like one of them I have to do. Well, you know what? Maybe it's not like a bullshit trade because like one of them I have to do, which is the car rides. Now I don't get sick in those, so that's good.
True.
But the other one I pay for, and I get sick. That's like a waste of money.
It is. It's like, why would I could easily just pay half the price and get my friend to stick their finger down my throat.
I do it for free.
Well,
that's
you are
a
good
friend.
friend. That is a good friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you know that roller coasters were invented in, like, I want to say 1800 something?
Yes.
1884? Does that sound right? Dude, could you imagine riding on a fucking roller coaster back then? I'd be terrified.
Roller coasters back then were fucked up. I remember watching this video a while back that they were like, I think it was the first loop coaster. It was the first roller coaster with a loop.
Oh,
and
God.
they didn't know the physics of it. So they just made it like a pure circle instead of like the teardrop shape that like loops usually are.
Right.
Cuz like, you know, physics makes it so like your head doesn't snap or like you won't get sick. So people would like either they would like lose speed and get stuck in the fucking thing, or like they would just like be projectile vomiting like the whole rest of the way down because of like the G's that they were going through.
Right. And something they've never experienced or probably even knew they could experience at that time.
Fucking stupid ass
I'd
people.
be worried about like you sit down and you like get stabbed with a rusty ass nail poking out and then you die because they can't see
It'd probably
you.
happen to you at Coney Island because they still have the same fucking coaster from like the 20s.
Jesus Christ.
But you know what? I've been on it kind of recently, actually. That thing is awesome. That thing is so cool.
Are there loops on that one?
No, there's no loops. I don't know if you can do... I think that was also part of the problem with like those first roller coasters that were trying loops. I don't know if you can do wood coasters with loops. I just don't think the physics works out because of the way that the track shakes. Like, you know, when you go on a wooden roller coaster and it's like shaking as you're going down, it like adds all that suspense.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It's like,
all my chins. All my chins can feel that going up.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a great time. I think the first roller coaster I ever went on was wooden. And I was like, oh, this one, I was talked into it thinking like, I do not want to go on this thing, but everyone else will think I'm a pansy if I don't. Okay, fuck it, I'll do it. So I get on this thing, this wooden ass roller coaster, and I didn't know what to expect. I mean, I've slightly felt the stomach thing when you go really fast down a hill, like in a car.
Yeah, when you feel it in like your mouth.
Right. Or like if you're just like speeding, I always feel it in the bottom of my gut. I had a friend who was like, I feel it in my nuts. And I'm like, you should get that checked.
Yeah, you should get that checked.
But so I had a sense of what it was going to be like, but I was wrong. In the first big drop, I thought I was going to die. I was like, this is the worst. Why does anybody like this?
How old were you when you went on your first roller coaster?
I want to say probably like 8 or 9.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
I wasn't
okay.
super young because there was no way I was gonna do it.
Well, there was like, not that you would want to, but like also probably you couldn't because there's so many height restrictions and all that, like
That's
nowadays. Because
true.
like back in the day, they probably didn't even give a shit about that, like distributing weight properly
Right.
or
Right.
like any of that shit.
Yeah,
So
you could have one huge man next to a little girl back in the day, and then it starts spinning, and then their momentum takes them. Yeah, end up in the
Yeah.
outhouse.
yeah, exactly.
Hey, god damn it! I just cleaned this the other week here.
Yeah, and you end up in Shrek's warehouse. Not warehouse, his outhouse. When he's like coming out right at the beginning of the movie.
He's like, "What the hell?" That's how Shrek sounds.
Yeah, that's Shrek's
That's my
voice.
Shrek impression. What the hell?
You sound more like a King of the Hill character than a Shrek character.
I sell swamp and swamp accessories.
Oh, well, speaking of Shrek, you ever been to Universal?
That's probably my favorite one. Universal.
So, you ever been on that the Shrek 4D ride?
I don't think I did, because the last time I went to Universal, they still had, like, I think they had the Men in Black ride, and,
Hell
like,
yeah.
Back to the Future, and,
Yeah, that's gone.
oh, the good ones, like Terminator.
That's gone.
Oh, all the good ones, man.
Yeah, Jaws is gone too.
Jaws is gone?
Jaws was gone in 2012.
Oh, well, did
Yeah,
they
dude.
move Jaws to Disneyland?
No, why would they move Jaws to Disney? It's Universal.
What am I thinking of then? Oh, maybe it was Universal that I went to then.
Well, so Jaws actually has an interesting story to it. It's very weird because they built it for opening day in Florida. There was only ever a Jaws ride in Florida and I believe the Japan Universal. But in California, it was just part of like their studio tour thing that they had going on. You remember that one?
Yeah.
So it was like part of their like backlot tour where you would like go to like the Jaws set and they had like a fake Jaws like pop out at you like through the water and it was only one part.
They have that in Hollywood now.
Yes. No, that's
Yeah.
the one that I was referencing.
Okay.
In Hollywood. Yeah.
See, I always get I'm terrible with getting theme parks right because there's Disneyland, Disney World, there's different, like, there's Universal Hollywood, there's Universal Studios there,
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? Yeah. I think Florida was the one that we went to the most growing up.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember going to the Jaws ride when I was younger, and there was like, when you get on a ride and they have like video screens up and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, this is what you're gonna experience, like, get ready, you're like touring
Get
the
ready
fucking
to shit
city.
your pants.
Well, not even that. They would like not even like, it wouldn't even be a ride, it would be like disguised, right?
Mhm.
It would be like, oh, this is a peaceful boat tour through through the city that Jaws was filmed in, but there's no sharks now, don't have to worry, everybody. And then it's like, what was that? Oh my god, we gotta get out of here.
And then they pull out the conveniently placed rifle behind them. Oh, let me
Yeah, they have like a fucking grenade launcher. Like,
I don't know why, but when I was little, that scarred me when they shot Jaws at the end. For some reason, in my imagination of what I remember, Jaws was like all green and slimy.
well, I like just watched a video on it. I love this channel. Shout out to Defunct Land. They have their own podcast as well, but I watched their YouTube videos. So Defunct Land, they did like this thing on Jaws, which was really cool, and they were like going over all of the history of it. So back when you're like on the line and they have like those videos of like what you're meant to expect, apparently like at the beginning of the ride's life